What I see happen. This is a better look of what I'm looking at right now. Early this morning, what I see happening today is a lot of men transitioning in and out of relationships. I mean, I'm talking about 2 months, 1 month, 3 months. Because what happens is, you know, let me just go back. What I think is going to be an issue for the majority of men that are still in the West or whatever else, are still dating modern women, which we love pre-owned, so we're going to still do it because we love it, is the disappointment. You see what happened during the pandemic and throughout what's been going on with relationships as women have become more insufferable to live with over the long term, the distance, is that men have fell in love with their peace. Okay? And again, I'm not an anti-relationship guy. I'm pro-relationship, anti-torture. And I think the only reasons why nowadays that men get really getting into relationships is, one, they want kids. Two, they're probably afraid of catching some STD or something like that. Because outside of that, the average relationship today, what I see with the brothers, salute to all my brothers, married brothers, brothers that are in a relationship and whatever else, it is a completely one-sided affair. Oh, that beautiful breeze. Let me see the view. This is a beautiful tree. It is a one-sided affair where it's all take. It may start off in a reciprocation. First of all, you're dealing with a woman that was not raised to be in a relationship. She was raised to work for corporate America, serve the masters, serve their boss, are raised to be not listen to men, not follow any type of direction or leadership from men. In fact, they think that that's basically oppression or the evil patriarchy. Most of them have no domestic skills. That you're going to be the cook, you're going to be the repairman, you're going to pay the majority of the bills, and you're going to have an individual that's running a whole different program than you. For most men, or their gender doesn't align with you and your goals and your purpose. And a lot of guys discover that late in the relationship after the honeymoon phase, or maybe even to the extent it'd be great if guys had pre-nut clarity. But most of us don't because our hormones betray us. I tell you what, there's some guy right now laying in a bed or somewhere or last night, and he just looked down at his meat, his phallus, and he said to himself, how could you do this? He said to him, how could you do this to us? How could you betray us like this? His own meat betrayed him because your meat has no loyalty. It just wants pre-owned. That's all it wants. It's pre-owned. And so much has happened in our society. Excuse the wind, guys, but let me get my walk started. And so much has changed. This is not your granddaddy's world anymore. And that's the thing with a lot of guys. Oh, it's beautiful. Refuse to accept that this is not your granddaddy's world anymore. You know, some guys go overseas, some guys do passport stuff, some guys deal with domestic things. Whatever a man choices is, that's their business. A peaceful life, what a guy has outstanding game, or he buys his box, I don't give a rat's ass. At the end of the day, no woman is free. Maybe she likes you, you get a discount. All men pay. And the guy who says he doesn't pay for anything is a liar. And he's an immature man, and you don't even worth having a conversation with him. You're talking to a fool. You know, my brother CGA is right. Money, energy, attention, or time. You're paying something. There's no such thing as no free women out here in this world. You're delusional. That's a crazy, immature man with no life experience. There's no point even listening to that fool. You're talking to an idiot. But inevitably, the issue becomes about the performance, how that woman performs, and the reciprocation. And for most men today, the juice is just not worth the squeeze. The juice ain't worth the squeeze in the distance. I'm not talking about 6 months, 1 year, whatever else. When a guy starts looking at his wallet, He measures the emotional commitment. He measures the emotional sacrifice. He measures what he's getting in return. And 99% of the time, what he's getting, he can get from hiring a simple sex worker and sending her home for night with a nice tip. In fact, he will get 1,000 times better return hiring a sex worker. That's what the equivalent of what men are getting today. Nothing but pre-owned, used box. And guys like, well, we don't even want to talk about my brother Clay Thompson. That's a whole different story. Salute to him for escaping. We talk about ball hogging on this channel. Some things were meant to be passed. Share. This is not no. What do you think when you see something and you look at it? You ever think to yourself, I know some guys don't care because, again, guys are horny and they want to get laid. What do you think happened to the other 30, 40, 50, 100 guys before you? You think that guys just, do you think that men just walk out here leaving a briefcase full of money or gold or diamonds on the ground for you to come find? Huh? Why did that guy run from the scene of the crime? Well, never mind. Why did he run, period? What is it that that man is running from? That's the question you must ask. This is my relaxation, guys, I gotta say. What is it that that dude is trying to escape? And what is it that you think you found that's new, that's exciting, that's whatever? I'm not talking about guys who go overseas and they get into these pragmatic relationships, the smart ones, and they understand that, hey, look, here's the deal. This is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm not going to do, okay? And then the woman that's bounded by culture and tradition and the society, and maybe he breadcrumbs her some money every month or puts her on a IV and gets absolute performance out of her. Because the culture forces her to, the culture defines some men are taken care of. Then that man's probably getting some reciprocation and return. But the modern situation in the West is a completely one-sided situation. Not only that, you're dealing with narcissists and people with mental issues and mental disorders that were raised to hate men, not to listen to men. And then you have to pay all these bills. And then you're not even getting any, you're going, that's just a continuous cycle of absolute, utter foolishness and nonsense. Peace is beautiful. And I think what happened too, for a lot of men, look at all these ducks over here, especially during the pandemic, is that they got comfortable being alone. Again, because there's no utopia anywhere in this planet for a man who's not in love with his own company. And I always talk to men when they talk to me about women. How do you feel? How do you feel when you're by yourself and you look? That's when we really get to be our authentic self. Is when we're by ourselves. How do you feel about you when you look at yourself in the mirror? When you see yourself? When you're alone by yourself? What is it that you feel that you're missing in life? What is that you feel is incomplete about you as a human being? That doesn't mean I'm into some isolationist world. I'm out all the time. I'm out. I'm always talking to people. I'm always dealing with people. I'm always living my life. As you can see right now, I'm out just enjoying myself, taking a nice exercise walk in the park. And I don't feel anything is missing in terms of my life, personally, I mean, yeah, I'd love to win the Powerball. That's about it. It's a beautiful dog. I love them. Animals. But what do I think is missing? Not a damn thing. Let me sit down here for a second. There we go. That's a better view. And once you've achieved the level of peace, you just don't want to give it up, man. You see the boat moving over there. You just don't want to give it up because it's just so enjoyable, man. Just to, you know, don't ruin my image there. Anyhow, let me get back. There we go. That's better. You zoom a little bit better. But once you achieve a certain level of confidence and self-esteem and your understanding of the world, you've traveled, you've experienced life, it's the simple things in life that you appreciate the most. Like just me sitting out here, enjoying nature, enjoying the breeze and whatever else. And when I go home, I have my sanctuary to myself, which is beautiful. That don't mean I don't hang out with women. I do. But that's just the 1% of my life that I enjoy. But I think what's happened in the modern world is that the things that men would want or desire have become projections. Because what the women offer is completely contrary to that. And then a lot of men have a difficult time accepting that. They're not what you want in terms of what you expect, in terms of the vision you have in your mind. And then when they get with women and they realize that, damn, this one is just purely a load, they get disappointed and frustrated. As opposed to going around understanding women for what they are, accepting them for what they are, especially modern women. And either you can participate or keep it moving, leave them alone. But you understand that they're not going to change for you, and the society is not going to change for you. It really isn't. You know, and it's that part of accepting and adapting to life, enjoying life and whatever else. Especially enjoying the things that you work hard for, the fruits of your labor, you know, the life you've built for yourself. And it's that adaptation that a lot of dudes have a trouble with, you know what I mean? I think especially some of the younger dudes. And that's why I say this, it's a continuous cycle, Because unless women become better people, ain't nothing changing out here. Dudes are just going to travel, enjoy their life. Maybe they'll get in relationships overseas. Maybe they'll stay single here, you know, work the rotation or, you know, whatever they do. I'm not saying what they should not do. But one thing's for certain, dudes ain't just going to be given a piece like that for a piece of ass. Hell no. It's only a short-term thing. And for the young guys, this is the greatest opportunity ever for you to make money and achieve financial freedom. Because there's really nothing else for you to get right now. I mean, other than maybe some pre-owned, that's about it. Because what's happening now, especially with the young people, is that they're not building marriages and relationships. Because I think what happened is that one of the side effects of feminism, not only has it affected men, but women themselves have become so insufferable and so raised so much to dislike men and have these unreasonable expectations and entitlements and delusion. Then you add social media in there with all the distractions, with the culture, with social media, with the fact that they're raised to hate men. The young men are like, there really ain't much for young men to pick from, to choose from, even if they got their life together. What is that for them at the end of the rainbow? Some insufferable feminist or some woman that has a whole strange, bizarre, weird ideology and mindsets from what she supports and what she believes in. And you think you're going to build a house with, or build a family, or build a plan with somebody that's operating on a different frequency, where she's led or directed by the culture, by a type of woke ideology that doesn't fit in with your narrative or your plan or direction, where she wants to go left and you go right. where she sees serving you as oppression, or listening to you, or obedience to your plan as a form of slavery or whatever else, and she wants to be egalitarian and run a whole different agenda while being in the house with you, that's not a good deal for a young man. It's really not. And that's the reality of what we're facing today. So no disrespect to anybody. Until women become better people, I don't see anything changes with that. Why would anybody give up this peace and freedom to live with insufferables? They have to become better people. I don't care what Scott Galloway or any of these game guys say or any of this other shit. Ain't nobody trying to manage a headache. They got to become better people. Before I start giving young men these dating and relationship advice or telling them whatever else, I have to see an improvement in the quality of choices that they have. I'm not going to teach anybody to get involved with misery. I'm not going to do that. When they become better people, when they stop hating men, then I'll start giving out real dating and relationship advice for quality women that are going to be passed from their fathers to the young men if they want to marry them. Until I see that, until I see changes in the laws, until I see any of that, which ain't never going to happen. It's never going to happen in my lifetime or your lifetime. I am not going to be giving out any advice on none of that crap. In fact, I'm going to tell them, work on your money, build your life, build your self-esteem, build your confidence, work on early retirement and financial freedom. Get leverage and power. You need leverage. Leverage is what I want you young men to have. You should be working on your first $100,000 in investments, working while you are asleep. You should be getting skills, learn how to fix things, learn how to repair your own things, learn how to weld, learn how to fix cars, learn how to do all these things, mechanical things, learn how to invest money, work on your discipline, work on your self-esteem, work on your self-image, work on your self-development. That's a more better return. If you have to consume some pre-owned, go consume some pre-owned. Do it responsibly, but get back to work. Working on the things that are going to give you long-term freedom and prosperity, as opposed to focus on somebody who's raised to hate you. You're wasting your time, man. With that being said, I'm about to get my nice power walk on, man, get some cardio in for the morning. Hey, gentlemen, make sure you're taking care of your health, man. Health is wealth. Let me tell you right now, man, you want to be in a situation where you not only have choices financially, but you got to feel good about yourself, man. Get out here, do your exercise, do your routine. Routines is something I believe in strongly. I'm sorry, I apologize for the wind, guys. But anyhow, with that being said, peace is beautiful. Good morning, man. And you guys, make sure you stay focused on life. Don't let life get you down, man. Out here is tough. It's tough for men because you have to deal with a world that's constantly kicking you in your back. You know, constantly kicking your back and constantly trying to get you to take bad ass deals, especially the young men. Always trying to get you to take bad deals that are going to destroy your life in the future, because they don't care what happens to you after you've made the deal, after you've made the decision, after you've signed up for their plan. So you have to be strong enough to push back or resist the social programming and live life on your own terms. But that doesn't mean you become a bum and don't do anything. That means you work even harder, because your goal is not about women or anything. Your goal is about, leverage and financial freedom and having choices in life to live life the way you want to, the ability to say no, the ability to walk away from bad deals, the freedom to travel. You can't go nowhere without money, especially residual income. You need money to travel. You need money to live the life you want to live. Those things cost money. You need money, period, as a young man. I don't care what anybody says. They come out here with all these crazy woke philosophies. Well, oh, you know what? Money is evil and capitalism. I don't care about none of that. You still need money. You can't travel the globe without money. You can't enjoy leverage and freedom without money. It's just the way it is. Until they create some different imaginary system that you can exist and enjoy life without money, that's the what game you have to play. But anyhow, peace and blessings to you guys, man. Appreciate all you guys supporting the channel. And I'm out. Let me pick up the pace.